In today's episode of By the Mash Tun, myself and Mike are joined by Chris MacLennan from the Space Jam Continuum, so sit back and have a listen.
And welcome to By the Mash Tun, a podcast by a couple of nerds where we brew some beer, drink some beer, and have a little chat about some beer. I'm Mike Harrison Wood.
I'm Carl Noble, and we have a guest.
We've got a guest. Say hello.
Hello, I'm a guest.
Hi, guest.
Hello.
It's Chris, by the way, if nobody's got that.
Yeah, we've got to do loads of podcasts today, so the whole gang's here. So we're just all going to be on each other's podcasts.
Yeah, I think
we're professionals.
It's going to work out quite nicely. Mike looks like a real professional there.
Yeah, I've improvised a pop shield.
Yeah,
it's classic. It's a good look.
I've still got a cough.
Yeah,
which is going to be really annoying and frustrating.
Yeah.
And we've had quite a professional morning so far.
Yeah. Well, we've dabbled with having 3 inputs for once, so it's kind of
it's a technological marvel.
Yeah.
We've had Greg's pasties.
Yeah.
We've had mopping up water off the floor.
Yes, there's been a little bit of a disaster.
Yeah.
In this episode.
Mike, what are we brewing today?
Today we are brewing a style of German beer that is very specific to the area of Bamburg, and it is called Rauchbier.
Oh.
It's good.
It is good.
I do like a Rauchbier.
Yeah, Rauch being the German word for smoke. We are talking a big, smoky, big, delicious, lovely beer.
Yeah. So normally, when you look at smoked beers, the percentage is really low. What sort of percentage in a Rauchbier smoke would you normally
they do creep up above 5.
Yeah.
So it's not sort of a proper session thing.
No.
The base style of beer is actually the Märzen beer, which is a style seen in other areas of Germany.
Yeah.
That's due to this whole thing where they weren't allowed to brew over summer because it was so hot, and so they would make a darker, stronger beer in March.
Yeah.
Because Märzen is March.
Yes.
That's what that means. They would brew in March, and then the fact that it was stronger and darker meant that it would survive the long summer, and then they could drink it in October. Hooray!
Well, there you go.
And then it just so happened that the people in Bamburg continued to smoke the malt beforehand, and it just ended up with this Märzen that was incredibly smoky and became its own style, the Rauchbier. Which is
I do
lovely.
like a Rauchbier, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a good number of smoked beers, and they can be abrasive.
Yeah.
But when they're done well, it's just that kind of rich, smoky flavour without that top of the mouth, sandpapery.
Yeah, I imagine that's largely down to the percentage and just getting the balance right.
Because you got to balance that malt bite and the sweetness as well.
Yes,
a biting malty sweetness, and then layer the smoke on top.
Yeah,
because you're putting in something else that's quite an intense flavour.
Yeah,
it's another aspect, and it's difficult enough to balance those things anyway.
Well, that's it. Especially when you start bringing hops into it. So I can't imagine the hop character is going to be very prominent in this.
No, and I'll get into the sort of layer of that. But before we should try some malt.
Yes, yeah. They're all the way over there.
No, there's one.
There's one. So,
yes.
so what's this one?
So this is just to top up and keep the ABV where I want it. This is some Pilsner malt, which we've seen, obviously, in episode 6, where we did the German Pils.
Yeah.
So feel free to nibble on some of that. It's quite far away from you, Cal. To accommodate having 3 people, we're all a little bit further away.
So I've got long arms.
He does.
It's like a convenient octopus in the room.
Yeah. So there's no Marisota in this one. It's
what?
Yeah, I know.
Is this the first time we've done a beer without Marisota?
No.
Okay.
This is an outrage.
It's an outrage.
But you should be getting similar flavours to the Marisota, just a bit less sweet and a bit less full. It's just malt.
The thing is, I really like Pilsner malt.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's quite nice. It's clean. It's crisp. It's got a nice level of sweetness to it, but nothing too overpowering.
How are you finding it, Chris?
Yeah, are you enjoying that?
It's juicier than I expected.
Juicier?
It's not I don't know, I always expected Pilsner malt to be a little drier, I guess.
Yeah, when you do a direct comparison with something like Marisota, which is a bit sweeter, then you do get that dryness. But just this is the first malt of the day, you gotta be careful.
You can test your malt palate.
Yeah.
Whoa. We've got another one.
So that's good. Then we got a second one.
Okay.
This is the second most common malt in there. This is Munich malt, which again we've seen before, but I thought we'd do a little.
Well, it's always nice just to get a fresh taste, I think.
Mm-hmm. So this is the one that's like Maris Otter, but just a little bit more toast. Like it's not like roasty. It's just that lightly toasted loveliness, and still quite sweet bready. Lovely.
No, I mean, I love Munich malt.
Yeah.
It normally makes its way in some percentage into every beer I do, I think.
Really?
Yeah, well, just because it works out really nice just to kind of bring that malt flavour up, but not it being overpowering.
Yep.
It's got a nice bitterness on the end of it as well, which the Pilsner definitely doesn't. Like that just ends.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not like you finish it and then suddenly you get that sort of, just a little just ongoing bitter bite.
No, it's quite nice.
And Munich malt is very often a predominant part of the base in Märzen beers as well. So
yeah,
it is very traditional to use that in Rauchbier.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand why, again, just because it helps bring like the malt character up. And because obviously at some point we're going to be tasting some smoked malt, and that's going to be the overpowering bit.
Should we do that now?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, here we go. This is the big boy. This is the lovely.
I did have a bit of a nibble earlier from the Smoky Boy.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's a lovely malt.
As is my want of an afternoon.
Cows, grab the glass. Gimme. I want it. I want it in my mouth.
You get it straight away.
Oh god, yeah. That is.
Yeah.
It's right there. Like there's no hiding it. It doesn't. It's not subtle at all.
No.
It's like, oh brilliant, I'm eating crunchy smoke.
Yeah.
The sweetness still comes through in a nice way though. Like,
Yeah. Not much malt bite, but then it's only 6 EBC or something, which is very, very low.
Yes, yeah.
For those that aren't aware.
Sorry. You've got a cough now.
Yeah, I got loads of malt in the back of my mouth.
It's got malt chewer's throat.
Yeah. The EBC is just a guide of how strongly roasted I believe the malt is, or what colour it will impart into the beer.
Yeah, so it's generally used as a colour.
Yeah, that's how I knew it. I didn't know it was like...
Well, yeah, so it's normally the more roasted it is, the darker it's going to be. But that also applies bitterness.
Because it's interesting with a lot of those sorts of measurements that you see used to judge a finished beer, like IBUs, that like they've got a specific like numerical value behind them.
Yes,
and like that's based on.
Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily mean a beer is going to be a certain way.
No, that's the thing. You see it on pump clips, and like that means something to the brewers, but it's almost slightly useless information
because like if you've got a high IBU beer but you put a load of sweet stuff in it, you're not changed the IBU of the beer.
No,
and the because thing, it's just about the alpha acids, right? So
that's it. Like you're expecting like a high IBU, you're going to go right. Okay, that's going to be it's got high bittering units, so it's going to be bitter.
Yeah,
but that's not always the way it works.
Because the trend's gone down a bit. Like you did see a lot of people
they were
boasting,
trying to jack it up.
When American IPA just suddenly became the thing that everyone was doing. Then it was on every pump clip. It's like it doesn't mean anything in this context unless you're just it's taking notes to make some stuff at home.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the thing is like on pump clips, you do see a lot of information that is useful to certain people, but it gives you an idea of the beer. But like I say, it doesn't mean always what people think it means. No. You're not always going to get a bitter beer.
Yeah, it's the same in whiskey with smoky whiskey with the ppm. It obviously affects the level of smokiness, but depending on how long you're aging that whiskey, like something with a higher ppm can be far smoother than something with a lower ppm. Just because
on process.
Yeah.
But cool.
I think it's information for information's sake largely.
Yeah, but it is useful for us to compare and contrast. We do have the one more.
Oh, what's this?
One more little malt.
This in a shot glass.
Yeah, I haven't put much into this one.
Oh.
This is a much stronger flavour one that's both darker and sweeter at the same time, and that is Cara Munich.
I do like
the fact that it's in a tiny shot glass compared to the others makes it seem very important and exotic.
It's like, this is the big one.
Yeah, so there was a touch of this in the last brew that we did, the green tea pale ale. Just add a little extra something in a very, very small amount. There is a bit more of it in this one. One of the things that I particularly enjoy in a Rauchbier is that mix of malt and sweet and smoke.
It's almost like a kind of Horlicksy caramel.
Yeah, like I said, there's your malt bite. When you've got a few others that are either quite mellow or you've got something very much obscuring that malt bite, like this is how you get it back in.
Yeah. Just bang a load of that in.
Yeah,
it's really nice. But that Horlicks, that's the only way. That's the thing that just springs to mind straight away. It's Horlicks. It's just like eating a teaspoonful of Horlicks.
Smoky Horlicks,
but not as sweet. It's definitely got a much more bitter.
Yeah, I think there are sort of the sugar crystals that you see in crystal malt and that type of thing in Cara Munich. So you will end up with a sweeter brew, despite it not being sweet.
Yes,
as it is, or not as sweet as some of them.
Is that just to do with the complexity of the sugars?
No, there's one of the ways that it is malted. You'll notice there's like a pop crunch to it, and it's basically there's like a collection of sugar in a little parcel in the middle of it.
Because you don't get it super sweet. It's almost like burnt sugar.
Yeah,
it's
almost like caramelized sugar.
Which you'd expect. It's called caramel.
Like if you put sugar in a pan for a bit too long and it starts going brown.
Yeah.
Lovely. Right, that's the malt anyway. So mostly the malt is smoke, obviously.
Yeah. So what was your percentage? On smoke?
Yeah, Rauchbiers can be quite swingy in that way. Some people do as low as something like 20-25. Some people do 100% smoke malt, which, you're going to get big smoke there. I've gone with something a bit more in the middle, almost precisely 55-ish percent of smoke malt, and then the rest is mostly Munich, bit of Pilsner, and then the Cara Munich.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to make my kitchen smell lovely for the next 8 weeks or something, so I can mop the floor under it.
Well, I was going to say, you've really themed that room by letting that tube slip out and flop all over the floor.
Yeah, that. I mean, when you say let it slip out, it wasn't a choice. So there's not.
Did it slip out?
They did.
Did you stop it?
Yeah. I went in there, turned it off, popped it back in, and stopped it after a fashion.
Yeah. But you did let it slip out.
Yeah, I mean, it slipped out.
There was a bit of smoky
wart on my floor.
On your floor, under your fridges.
Are we making slightly less now? Or
presumably, yeah.
Just letting it...
Well, because the bit that was lost was your big heavy sugar bit before the sparging, so the ABV will be slightly lower anyway. So I've added slightly less extra water, so there's slightly less ABV and slightly less volume, but not too much of one or the other.
Gone for a middle of the road solution, pleasing no one.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, it should be all right. I mean, these things happen in home brewing. I mean, I imagine they happen in
It's just
like
they're expecting it and have the drainage.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Like, I really need to invest in some sort of drainage in that kitchen floor because it does often get covered in water.
Yes. But yeah, the hops probably going to have to adjust as well because of the change in volume, but not by a huge way. I've gone with Hallertau Mittelfrüh, which we did with the German pils. It's nice, noble. You might get a bit of sort of grassy extra notes, but nothing too heavy fruit. Because you don't really want that just getting in the way of the hops, getting in the way of the smoke. Sorry.
No, you don't. Because like with Rauchbiers, that is the purpose behind it. It's the smoke you really want to shine through. The hops are just there to try and balance out the malt sweetness.
Yeah, it's not one I know. I know Hallertau Blanc. Is it the same sort of strain or?
Well, it's from Hallertau.
Yeah, it's just the place.
Yes, if I remember from the other episode, Mittelfrüh is middle early or something like that, which is just the harvesting time. But it's not one of those weird kooky ones. It's a very old style of German hop that's just been used for sort of noble flavors, lagers.
Yeah, it's often found in a lot of lagers.
Okay, so it's standard.
Yeah, I mean, like chances are, like the vast majority of lagers that you've tried will have that, especially if it's a German
lagers at least. Okay,
just because it's very popular.
Yeah, the Czech ones tend to go for something more like Saaz or other Czech noble hops, but German ones are lovely too. Hooray! The yeast, I'm using a lager yeast, a Pilsner yeast actually as well. Yeah. Because at its core it is a Märzen, which is again a style of stronger, maltier lager.
Yeah.
So it's going to be slow and low with a lager yeast. Give it some time, Give it. Yeah. Hopefully the CO2 blanket will do the smoke well, and it won't sort of oxidize that and let all the smoke dissipate. But
yeah, I mean the cooler temperature will help with that as well.
yeah.
You know, like fermenting at the lower temperature is going to help preserve that smoke.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, did you plan to keg it?
Yes. Yeah. Kegging, bottling some just so that we can try some. In one of our bonus episodes, if that does happen to be after the keg is finished, because I imagine I'm going to be drinking this pretty quick.
Well, it's going to be around my house for a little while, so maybe I'll drink it quick.
I'll fight you.
That is an option. We could do a whole episode where me and you just have a fight over some smoked beer.
That'd be a good way to launch the YouTube channel.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a fight.
Maybe just everyone from Kaiju fights each other.
Can we all dress up as different kaiju?
Yes.
And then battle.
Make a
little city and battle each other.
Yeah, winner gets the keg of Rauchbier.
Winner gets the Rauchbier. Sold.
All right, okay, we've got a plan then. We just need to run this by Rob.
Let's wrap this podcast lark up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And have a fight. Excellent. So,
you sound like you need to have a little cough.
a big one, actually.
All right. Should we go and have a beer?
I think that's probably not a bad idea. But, I mean, the question is, do we have any beer news?
No.
Are you sure about
that? So I guess it would be beer, nay.
Well,
like we don't have any news.
And that is largely because we're recording this ahead of time, and anything we say now is going to be old news. So I think we've decided we're just going to make something up and then make it happen.
Yeah, we're going to Tomorrow Never Dies it.
Yeah.
But we're all Jonathan Pryce.
Yes.
And
aren't we all in some ways?
We've all got our own submarines, and we're going to make up some beer news and, make it happen.
All right. So my little bit of make-believe beer news is that at the next Olympics going on, I don't know where that's being based. I don't keep up with that type of thing.
Is it not France? Because they won the World Cup, so do they not now? Do they not now get the Olympics?
That'd be great if that's how it works.
Just?
No.
Okay.
Wait, it was Russia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, wait, that was the winter.
No.
Anyway, so my bit of fake news is that homebrewing is going to be added to the Olympics.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Are we going to make one up each, or?
Yeah.
What you got, Chris? What you
in a display of craft brew gone too far, people are taking breweries are starting to take mashing in too seriously, and they're just going to be making potato beer. They're going to be making up a nice creamy mash.
Yeah,
and then they're going to be seeing what they can do with that fermentation wise. I presume they're going to wind up with some sort of very strong, slightly sort of buttery vodka.
That could be quite interesting.
So we'll try that. We'll try that in a while.
Yeah. See what I think is going to happen, and I'm probably going to try and make this happen, is that someone's going to start using cheese instead of hops. They're just going to start filling it with cheese and get a real nice sort of like Gouda or something like that, and just put that in. Start hopping their beers with Gouda, because you can get hoppy cheese. You can get cheese.
You can get hoppy cheese, and also we've had beers occasionally at the pub, which presumably developed some sort of minor infection, but it gets a sort of blue cheesy pang to it.
Yeah.
And some people really hate it, but I actually think it's pretty nice.
So I reckon one of these like real experimental breweries. That's it. They're going to start using cheese.
Yeah.
I reckon we could make that. I reckon we can find a local idiot who will do that.
Yeah, I reckon we could make it. I mean, we could just do it.
Yeah.
That's the next episode then.
Yeah. Oh, and for a little bit of home brewing trivia, if you are sensing a little bit of blue cheese, it's not that the beer has got an infection, weirdly.
It's that you've got an infection.
No, it's that the hops have started to very slightly decompose. And that blue cheese flavour is the sort of slightly decomposing hops. Some people are super sensitive to it. Most people aren't. So if you are, count yourself unlucky.
It's like I can taste it, but I don't have like a super adverse reaction to it like a lot of pundits have. So yeah. Well,
I mean, I think on
give that go.
Yeah, don't let your hops go off.
Yeah, don't let them go off. Don't let them get all moist and stuff.
No.
Bad. Should we drink some beer?
Okay.
You do sound parched.
Right, we'll be back in a moment.
What are we drinking, Mike?
Right, so first up, I've gone for a very strong one, obviously. It is Butcher's Tears, this is the brewery, based in the Netherlands, and it is called Smoke and Mirrors.
Smoke and Mirrors, eh?
Yes.
I see what they went for there with the wording. It's
With
good.
the wording, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not quite your standard Rauchbier, though.
No?
No, this is a triple hopped farmhouse ale with smoked malt.
So
Interesting.
it's going to be saison-y.
Saison-y, hoppy,
Yeah.
smoky,
Smoky. It's got all of it going on.
strong, complex.
What's the ABV on it?
It is 8.3.
Shoo-wee.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I thought we'd go straight to the deep end.
Yeah. Yeah. Get. Yeah.
Get some smoke in
got
there.
all that you have.
I'm just eyeing up the...
The measurements here for the professional barman.
Yeah, I poured them all quite quickly. Just
evidently.
now. Yeah, after measuring some hops.
I mean, despite how little you have, Chris, it looks great.
Looks great. Very big carbonation on it,
Yeah.
which we've seen from other European breweries, especially Netherlands, is that they tend to carb a lot higher in the bottle than our UK.
Yeah, I mean, most beers, if they've been sat there for, like, this has been sat there for a couple of minutes
Yeah.
in front of me, untouched, like, I wouldn't expect there to be still
So much
like
of a
nearly
head.
an inch of head on it.
That's good though. The thing is, I really like it.
Yeah.
Like, it helps, like when you're going for a smell, like being able to break up those bubbles and really get that through. It's real good.
So yeah, I am getting big smoke, and I'm also getting a bit of that sort of saison-y
Yeah.
phenol stuff. All
That
that
phenol
sort
stuff.
of, yeah, the clovey spice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I always get the saison-y bit really strongly because, like, pretty much arbitrarily, some days my body really decides you just don't want that. So
It's like not today.
the smell's not putting me off this time, and yeah, you get that smoke through it, and a lot of hop nose as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's quite soft, isn't it, for how smoky it is?
The thing is, it is really smoky, but it's not overpowering.
No,
Yeah, it's
not barbecue sauce levels. Of,
No, it
like-
doesn't taste like a smoked sausage.
it comes
No,
in
no, it doesn't.
later as well. Like
Yeah.
you get the hop profile far sooner than you. It just sort of creeps in and then lingers. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not aggressive.
it doesn't taste 8.5% though.
I would have guessed it was like 5.
Yeah, like you try it and you're like, okay, that's sessionable.
Yeah. I've seen as well that they're not ones to put a best before on it. They've done a bottled on date,
Okay.
which is good because it is bottle conditioned, so that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And it is quite old as well. We're
Yeah.
in September now. This was bottled on the 31st of January.
Wow.
So
I mean, the thing is, like, I wouldn't say that's old for a bottle.
Yeah, I
beer.
thought you were going to give us a
like
previous
20 years
year.
ago.
no, but it means
407 beers ago.
what-
You know, you've had
one
a
of
good night when
the
you start doing it like that.
one of the things that they advertise on the bottle is the hop content of Amarillo and Chinook and
Okay.
Columbus, and so presumably that punch has dipped down a little bit in the sort of 9 months.
And but it's still there's still quite a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it's still very hoppy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
it-
smoke lingers more than they do, but
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, that's kind of what I'd want from this sort of beer. I'd
Yeah.
want the smoke to be the kind of lingering aspect. I don't want that hop bitterness.
But also,
To
like,
be the-
although there's a lot of hop there, like like it's still quite delicate flavour-wise, and you don't want to introduce something that's just going to stamp that out.
No, not at all. I'd say like the whole thing's really well balanced. It works really nice. Like I say, it is a very delicate beer. It's not. No one thing is like, right, this is what the beer's about. It just blends them all really nicely together.
yeah.
I do wonder whether or not the alcohol content really helps with that, though.
Yeah,
Like,
it
to,
being
just
on
to
the-
help, kind of smush it all together. Yeah.
potentially.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
It's nice though. And it's
Yeah.
the first Butcher's Tears beer I've liked.
Oh,
Oh, well, there you go.
strong words.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if they're
But
honest
then they
words, they're
do
honest words.
like they tend to be weirder stuff, and they tend to be up the stronger end, or at least the ones I've had. And that's not normally the department I go for. So.
No, I mean, that's that's fair enough. And I mean, I've had different Butcher's Tears beers before, and I've normally quite enjoyed them. But I'd say this is probably my favourite.
Yeah,
At the moment.
Oh, this is definitely a cut above for me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I like the branding on the bottle as well.
Yeah.
I'm liking all the swirly. It looks like a close up of a fisherman's jumper.
Yeah. Real close up.
Yeah, it's like, all right, zoom in, click, that'll do.
Nice. There'll presumably be pictures of that on our Instagram at some point.
What, a fisherman's jumper?
Yeah, above both.
I love it when you say jumper because it just reminds me of that Shooting Stars bit. Geordie jumpers.
Geordie jumpers. Oh well.
Yeah.
Should we try a different one?
Yeah, let's contrast it with something else.
All right, then.
Right then, Cal, what have we got now?
I'm not telling you.
Oh.
Nah, I will. So it's Torside Brewing, and it's a Hopfenrauch 1.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they've done others. Maybe Hopfenrauch 2.
Well,
maybe.
I mean, or that they're going to do it.
Or that they're going to do one. Yeah, that is true. I can hear my washing machine. I wonder if everyone else can. Interesting.
We'll see.
Well, so apparently this is equally smoked and hopped.
Equally.
Yeah. So I mean,
That's difficult.
I know, right? I don't
Surely
know.
they're two different metrics.
There's not much information on here. It's 4%. There is 330 mil of it. Artwork by Emma Sidwell. And it's got an email address for her. It's quite nice artwork, actually.
Yeah.
I quite like this. But I like that they've put that on. So they've obviously, either went to her and said, look, can we use this? Or they've stolen it and just...
We'll give her credit.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I don't think they've done that. I imagine they've probably... I wonder if it was like specifically commissioned for them. Because I do like it. There's loads of little creatures
very
on
nice.
there. But the other information on here, bottled May 2017.
Oh, wow.
Best before end, March 2018.
Oh, right. So it's a little bit over.
So it's a little bit over, but I don't think that's going to... The only thing that's going to affect is potentially the hop character.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
So maybe the balance won't be quite what they intended.
Yeah, I mean, Torside Brewing, I haven't had much by these guys before.
We've had a few in the pub. They've both, I think we've had a couple. I
Yeah.
can't remember which ones.
They've
but
definitely got a reputation for smoke.
I definitely
Yeah.
very much liked the Torside beer we had in the pub.
Wow.
But
I mean,
It's much more... Oh, looking at the beer, it's much more sort of that orangey brown that
Yeah.
you would expect to see in a Rauchbier. There's even Rauch in the title, so there's a
exactly,
clue.
and there's a number 1 in the title.
Yeah.
But that actually, on the nose, that hop is still there, though.
Yeah.
I'm still getting
Yeah.
a hop character on the nose, as well as the smoke.
Yeah, I'm not getting a huge smoke either.
I was going to say, I'm not getting the smoke hugely. I'm still getting the hops, but
Yeah.
I think the smoke might be quite, tame.
Subtle, yeah. Well, I mean, if it's equally hopped and smoked.
I don't know what that means.
No, I don't know what it means either.
I've just had a sip, and that is bonkers.
Yeah?
That is mad.
Well, I mean, have you seen the artwork?
Oh.
Have you seen,
Very-
look at the artwork. The artwork's bonkers.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that.
It's very front on with the smoke.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first thing you get. And it's very high tone. It's very, like, top
Oh,
of
wow.
the mouth.
Yeah, but then that bitter dry hop finish is very intense with the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
There's a
wow.
little something in the middle. There's something almost fruity comes through, like just after, like
Just for a little bit.
just after the first smoke hit. It's bitter as well.
It's
really
that
long, lingering
lingers.
bitterness.
It's like you're taking a grapefruit and just barbecued it for a little bit.
Barbecue grapefruit, anybody? Barbecue grapefruit?
Well, I might now.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
Lovely.
It's got to be like that. I'll have a bit of that.
Lovely palate cleanser.
Oh,
sort of.
that's really nice. It tastes it a lot cleaner than the other one we tried. It tastes
The smoke and mirrors.
It's very fresh tasting, very light.
Yeah,
Like-
it is. I mean, like this one, like only being 4%. Obviously, it hasn't got that alcohol sweetness, but the flavors they come through real crisp.
Yeah, it's very refreshing, which I don't normally expect
associate,
from
yeah.
something smoky.
Smoked, yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, that's a refreshingly smoked cheese.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's just not. No, never gets said, does it? Never gets said.
But it's that bitter bite that just goes through the whole
Yeah.
sort of like journey.
Yeah.
That keeps it. Keeps you going. Oh, have another sip of that.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. Like the bitterness almost kind of strips out the other flavors after a while. So you go, wow, I'm going to have another sip just to get all that.
I need to fill the gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because although it may be equally smoked and hopped,
Yeah.
like that's dropped away. It's
It
not
has.
equally bitter.
it's not. It's just like, right. No, it's really good.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a
That's
good one.
nice.
It's a sipper and a chugger at the same time. It's sort
Yeah.
of this lovely
And
middle ground.
I'm loving the artwork.
Yeah.
Emma,
Again.
you've done a great job. Well,
I don't know if you've done a great
Yeah,
job.
I mean, I'm hoping she does because
I imagine so.
Have you seen it? Look, I mean,
Yeah,
the little
I was
creatures look
looking-
like they're in loads of seaweed and stuff.
It's got a sort of Studio Ghibli vibe to
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, it really
It's
does.
like you look at it and go, oh yeah, there's all these guys, all these little guys, and then you look at it again and go, wait, what the hell are these meant to be?
I like it.
It's good.
I might email and see
You
if we
might
can get
email.
some- I might use the email on there.
Yeah.
Should we have another beer? Before
Yeah, go on
Start
then.
emailing artists.
yeah. So what we got here then, Chris?
What we have here is Yeasty Boys, Rex Attitude, which I'm pretty sure we've had before.
I think we have.
I recognise it's lurid green T-Rex,
Yeah.
but it's a 7% smoky pale. It's very smoky. Even just getting a whiff of it in passing, you'd just be like, this is kind of the other end of the spectrum to the other two we've had. Really, this isn't subtle. We had a few bottles of this, I don't know, probably about a year ago now, and like you know you're drinking it.
Oh, it's like you say, just on the nose, it is so there.
But yeah, Yeasty Boys. It's a New Zealand brewery. They tend to do very very hoppy bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But they've done some really nice porters as well. This is the only smoked one I've seen of theirs. But yeah, they're not mucking about.
It's a very golden colour. Like it hasn't
very
got,
light.
It hasn't got that dark, like dark deepness of colour. It is really quite golden.
It is definitely a drink it cold or don't
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I
type
think
beer
so.
though. Because I remember we took a bottle on the train to London at the time,
Wow, you
And-
took this beer.
and that didn't work out that well.
Yeah, so there is something slightly unusual with this in that it's not just your standard smoked malt. This is understandably a bit of a taboo in homebrew circles, where the wisdom for everyone is don't use peat smoke at all, and if you do use any, do it just a touch.
Yeah.
And they've went, nah,
They've gone 100%.
100%
peat smoked.
peat smoked
Which
malt.
is why,
Like they
on the
always say,
nose-
don't go over 5. Apparently, according to the bottle, they said don't go over 5% peat smoke, but they've just gone
100.
So we carefully considered their advice and went with 100% peat smoke instead.
I think it works.
You can smell that.
You got, well, the thing is, like at
The
first,
tasting notes are worth reading.
it's like a whiskey.
Rex Attitude is inspired by French techno and the whiskey of Scotland's west coast. It's been said to be like tonguing your grandfather. Cigars, tweed, leather, and kippers. Consider yourself warned. And I think that is accurate.
Yeah. No, like-
Even down to, and it's going to make it sound bad, but I trust me, it isn't. Even down to the kippers.
yeah.
It's like I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah, that sort of sea spray.
Yeah, that's sort of like
acrid.
salty smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, it's does a good job. I don't know if through.
I've just tried tonguing it rather than drinking it.
Yeah.
It says like tonguing your grandfather. Just try tonguing the beer.
I don't want to see you do that ever again. You look like some sort of demented cat.
Should probably put
You
a
don't
video
have
of
the
that.
tongue shape to be doing that.
Or the bristles.
You've got
No.
nothing.
They've got bristly tongues as cats.
Yes.
No, that.
But yeah, it's superb. I love this beer.
It is absolutely fantastic. It tastes so good.
It's it's not easy. I'll give it that. It's not like wow, I could really go for a lot of that, but it's complex and it's
I
lovely.
think I probably could. Like,
I mean, we did.
Yeah. And the thing is, I probably wouldn't last long at that percentage. But
No, it's quite strong.
Well, they do
isn't
one
it?
called Cerex as well.
yeah.
Well, I think that's how it's meant to be pronounced. It's like Rex and then Rex backwards on the
Yeah.
front. But yeah, that's the 10% Imperial version.
of this beer.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Sorry.
Wow, there's some powerful words from Mike.
This is where the Mash Tun stops being a family show.
Oh.
10% New Zealand Imperial
Yeah.
Rauchbier.
But no, like that, I think is brilliant. Like on the nose, it's fantastic. Like it's just like smelling a nice whiskey, and then in the mouth, like I say, it's got that saltiness, it's got that maltiness, and that smoke just powers on through.
And it's got that sort of like, and I've said about a fair few beers, normally ones that a lot of people don't like, but like, it's got that medicinal sort of flavour to it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
Borderline
that's the peat
iodine,
smoke, isn't
like,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, and
Like,
it has stopped cow's cough.
Yeah. It's cured me. It's cured me. Oh, that's Doctor.
That's good because you've got a lot of
somebody's-
talking to do for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I have. I'm gonna have to get a few more bottles of this. Let's come back. I'm gonna have another drink.
Yeah, so fantastic beer, and I think there's only one thing left to try, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got to lick my floor.
Yeah, the floor that's covered in the wort. Yeah.
No, I reckon if we try the wort, we'll see how it is.
Yeah. Lovely.
I don't know that we will, because this might have killed it somewhat.
No, that's true.
Should we sign off for now then?
Yeah, okay. Let's say goodbye.
Yeah. Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Mike.
Bye,
Mike.
Cal.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
audience.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.